Hey guys, and me and Anton Retro have been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition for a few hours. I had a long live stream, and we also played online a little bit. So we wanted to give our thoughts on this remaster, how it compares to the original version from the very small amount of the original version that we've played, and how this game is in general, and how much we're enjoying it. But before we get started, I wanted to mention that I have a goal to hit 30,000 subscribers before the Switch 2 launches, so if you enjoyed my content, consider subscribing, and if I hit that goal, I will give away a copy of the new Mario Kart game. But so far, Xenoblade X Definitive Edition is absolutely incredible. Like, it's such a huge improvement over the original version of the game.
Yeah, for sure. It feels a lot more polished, it looks better, and it's just a good time all around.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Like, it's already impressive how the game was able to run on the Wii U, but I would say it's even more impressive that they shrunk this game down to, like, almost half of what the original game was in file size, and the game looks better, it runs better, and does basically everything better than the Wii U version, so it's just kind of crazy how that worked out. But, like, just visually, it just looks amazing. Like, I love how the models look, and the resolution, I would say, is probably, like, definitely a lot higher than the other Xenoblade games on Switch, just from what I've noticed so far.
Yeah, for sure. The character models are way better than the original. In the original, some of them looked a little off and a bit creepy in some ways, like kind of uncanny. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that they improved the models, and they seem way more expressive in cutscenes from what I've noticed. And the lighting engine in this game is so much better, that everything's a lot more vibrant and colorful. And the original Wii U version was a little, like, almost dark and a little bit dull. So I'm glad this version just looks so much nicer, and this really feels like the game that they wanted to make all the way back then, but they didn't end up making.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like they were held back by either, like, time or the Wii U's, like, specs and everything,
I
and,
mean, just
like,
technology wise, right? This is 10 years after the original, so
yeah,
or so
it was
around
just
that.
like a huge improvement here. Like, even like little things like lip syncing, like for like the English voices is like, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's like so much better than the original version. Um, and like, just so far, like the story missions and a couple of the side quests that I've done are just very good. Xenoblade X, I would say it's definitely a very underrated game because like it really hasn't gotten that much time in the spotlight since it was a Wii U game, and just like we've been wanting it to come to Switch for so long, but now it's actually finally getting the attention it deserves. So it just is an amazing game, I would say, and like just the open world aspect is like incredible. Like, even though so far both of us haven't like really experienced it to its full extent, we've only like experienced a small sliver of it, but it's still massive. And we like some of the missions we've done so
Yeah.
far are still like we had to walk like a long way to get over to a certain area, so like just a couple kilometers. I mean, that's like nothing compared to like stuff later in the game, but like still, like just from like something at the beginning of the game, it does do a good job at showing you the scale and scope that this game has.
Yeah, for sure. There's just so much that this game has to offer, and it's pretty neat that, you know, the original game was able to be brought over to the Switch, because now we have all the Xenoblade games on the system, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I wanted to mention is the combat, because I definitely think the combat is an improvement as well. It like, I mean, not only is the UI much more refined and looks so much better, but like the
Oh
combat is just
yeah.
so satisfying. Like the fact that you could basically like recast arts, that is definitely very useful. Like, even though I unlocked it like just not too long ago and have only used it like a little bit, it still is pretty useful nonetheless.
Yeah, the
And
battle system is just way easier to understand because the original game, it got kind of messy with the battle system. A lot going on. There's text everywhere. They tried to
yeah,
explain things. And I've got this game is just easy to understand what's going on. Easy to understand the they try to help you with hints and all these things to make it as accessible as possible. It's just so much better. And the
oh
aesthetic of
yeah,
this sort of sci-fi aesthetic with the UI is just so much nicer. It's not as busy, not as much stuff going around. So I really
yeah.
like it. I think that really helps to make the game a lot better, right? Like the notification things are a lot
Oh
nicer.
yeah, like the little,
The achievements,
yeah,
yeah,
and also like the little when in battle that has like the little, I think the one definitive edition also did this, like the little exclamation marks that pop up, like
yeah. When
when
you
you're
should do
attacked. Yeah,
something.
when you're attacked does like more damage or will inflict like a status. It's like it's definitely pretty useful, and also like pulling off combos is just so fun. Like doing like a stagger, topple, then doing more damage with like that one move that you have at the beginning of the game. That is just so satisfying. And it's
Yeah,
just really fun. And I feel like the game definitely allows you to kind of like experiment with things like that even early on in the game. It does give you like some access to like certain things, like certain like abilities and arts, and it's really fun. And I'd have to
yeah.
say,
And another thing.
yeah, I'll let you go on.
I was just saying. Actually, you know what? You go ahead. You go ahead. Don't have you. I don't want you to forget what you've been
I was gonna
thinking
say,
about.
I was gonna say, I think all of the upgrades that this remake got, it definitely helps the world building quite a lot. Because I think the world building in Xenoblade Chronicles X is very underrated and is very different from the other Xenoblade games. But I feel like just with the fact that it's on like this like mysterious planet, and you have like people from Earth, like with New Los Angeles, and it's just like I think the remake or the remaster, I guess, definitely like it definitely overhauls it quite a lot and definitely makes it feel more immersive, I would say, with the better graphics and a lot of things.
Yeah, I think the music and sound effects are just something that have been so much more enhanced. Like especially the music, I wasn't a huge fan of it to be honest in the original, but they seem to have remastered the tracks a lot better to make them a lot more balanced
Oh, I
and
agree.
sound better. So, some of the tracks that were weren't initially that I didn't really I wasn't a big fan of the original stuff, but in this I don't know I appreciate it a lot more. I think it sounds a lot nicer. And
Yeah.
I think it just shows that what Monolith Soft can do now, right? They worked on Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, since this game, they've done Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade Torna the Golden Country DLC. They've done Definitive Edition of the original Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. And then they did, after that, they did, I guess, did the 3DS version of Xenoblade 1? Or, I mean, that wasn't really worked by them, was it?
Um, I'll have to see. I'm not sure,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
But yeah,
yeah,
they did, Xenoblade 3 as well. So they've done a lot of games since this. So it's cool to see in 10 years, um, in 10 years, what they've been able to accomplish and how much better they've gotten and more talented. And this game is only, I think, it's only 13.5 gigabytes from what I've seen.
that is crazy. I like, how is that even possible? Like
I don't know how they've done this.
Monolith Soft, they are magicians. They are magicians. There's no other way to describe it. Like, how do they get that to work? That is crazy. Like they have like their optimization
It's magic.
is just incredible. And also I wanted to go back on the topic of music. I wanted to mention that like I did like the original versions of the music, but I can't deny that the remastered versions of like the soundtrack is incredible. Like it sounds so much better than the original game. Even like the little changes just definitely make a lot better in my opinion. But yeah,
Yeah.
just overall, this is a excellent remaster, and I would say this is actually a good game to start with if you haven't played any Xenoblade games before. I mean, I wouldn't, like, for those of you who are kind of a little intimidated by how big this game is, or just intimidated by the Xenoblade series in general, just with how weird its reputation is sometimes, don't be scared of that. Like, don't be afraid of trying it, because, like, you might actually like it. Because, like, sometimes there have been certain games where I didn't think I would like at first, or was found to be a little daunting at first, but actually ended up really enjoying it, because there's a lot of qualities that, like, a lot of people could enjoy out of this game, and this is definitely a good starting point for the Xenoblade series. So if you're ever interested in playing Xenoblade, or if you just want to try something new, this is definitely a great game to play.
Yeah, for sure. This is a great starting point to the series. It's not a story-heavy, it still has a story and everything, but it's a little bit more open, a little bit more relaxing, and because some of those other games in the series can be a little bit daunting with the amount of hours to put in to get the full story, and but this one's a little bit more relaxing, which is nice, and you can kind of do things at your own pace, which is good. I mean, that's with all the games anyways, but if there's one to try, I recommend trying out this one, or if you want, something a bit more traditional Xenoblade Chronicles, go with the first game in the series. I think those are two great starting points.
Yeah. And finally, I wanted to mention that we tried out online a little bit, and it's pretty fun. We did like a mission. We didn't complete that mission because like the enemies were beating us, and we didn't have enough people on our squad, but it was fun, and it was a little confusing to set up at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty fun, and you can actually play with your friends in like squads, and you can do battles with friends and play the game with friends and everything. I think that's really, or you could play with random people too in certain circumstances, but it's really fun. And I think it's awesome that this game has online features. Like, this is like the perfect game to have online, since it's like a big open world and a great combat system. Like, I think that's really cool that they have this here.
Yeah, for sure. This is it is a really cool game to have online. Because you have to have NSO to play. But it works pretty good. I mean, there's some things that maybe could have been a little bit easier to do. There could have been some things to make a little bit easier to play, and because we've had some little difficulties here and there.
Yeah.
But it is a nice thing that it is here, because they could have decided not to have it at all.
Yeah. But anyways, that's about all we have to say for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition for now. Excellent remaster, and we're both really enjoying it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to go subscribe to Anton Retro, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, and check out my Discord and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!
See ya!